Hi, this position was reached between Balyevsky and Garry Kasparov. 1981, August I believe, in the Moscow Grandmaster tournament. And it's black to move, and Kasparov, Garry, played knight g4. But there's even a nicer move here that the book of Garry Kasparov's Fighting Chess, My Games and Career, he suggests an even nicer move. So can you find it? So it's a wee exercise. Can you find it? So the move is this. And so the beauty with this move is that if queen takes queen, then obviously pawn takes rook, d1 is queen, and white's a whole piece down as they're already losing. If queen takes pawn, then simply pawn takes pawn check. Quite nice. And black is forcing white to play bishop takes and queen takes, etc. So it's quite cute. So e2 is quite nice, but the analysis they give is knight g4, okay, and now they go rook c1, okay, and now here bishop d5 and queen f2, and guess what, not knight takes f2 but takes here, and this move looks very, very promising, knight e3, because it's just really, really nice, isn't it? And black's just going to end up probably checkmating white. Now what can white do? Rook here? Now I haven't looked at this yet, but no, they can't. Why not? So why can't white play rook c3? Can't play bishop c4 because of either bishop g2 checkmate, or the cuter hg2 is checkmate. H takes g2 pawn is checkmate. So that's no good. So if rook c3, then what can white be met with here? And it's quite cute because I love these. I love sort of pins and forks and skewers and driving away sacrifices. We've got hg2 check, forces bishop g2, else white is checkmated, and then we've got rook or queen f1 checkmate. So that's quite good. So I can show you the whole game. I could show you the whole game, but I also want to show this lovely endgame position. Is this position here. So now we've got, we'll flip the board because white's, this is A1 here, and H1, the king is on H1. So this is quite nice because it actually ends up in a completely equal position, but white wins. How does white win? So if you want to have a look at this, can you find how white can win? And it's quite nice. So it looks like white can possibly just check here and so forth and try to get a check to swap queens off and then march the b pawn, but it's not that simple, or it's even more simple. So the move is, so if you don't want to see what the move is, it is 1, 2, 3, queen d5. But hang on, doesn't that give the pawn away on b4 with check? I hear you say, yes it does. Oops, black's just won the pawn back. Now we've got a completely equal position. In fact, can't the queen just keep checking the king? So we've got king f3 now, a very, very good move. So white is threatening black on h1. King g3 check with the queen, and then queen g2 checkmate, or king f2 and queen g2 checkmate. So what does black do? If black does this, then that's simply the end of the story now, as black gets checkmated soon thereafter. So what can black do? Queen f2, f8 check. Then we've got king g3 check and queen g2 checkmate. So it's quite a nice way, and there are variations on the theme, but if you let the queen start checking the white king too many times, it's going to be resulting in a draw. The primo position for black would be after this to be able to play queen here and queen g2 check and pick up the queen. That's just the fantasy line. So that's that line. Now I want to show you more on endgame studies, because I consider that's one of the best out. As this is in Nigel Short's book. We've got practical endgame study for black to win here, and it might be the other way around in Nigel's book. So we've got this position here, okay, and black is to move. That's correct. Black is to move. Now how does black win this for how does black win this very shortly hereafter? And the answer is b3. All other moves like a3 do not work because of b3. c3 doesn't work because of b3. And just being sensible for white, of course. You don't have to be, it's not hard to defend this. If the king's here, it's probably a win for white. But b3, and now we have two variations. We have this one, which is no good, obviously, because the pawn takes pawn, and thereafter queening. And this one's similar as ba2 is queening. So we now want to take this pawn, because we can clearly not move both of them out the way to c3 and a3 respectively, because we can't have two moves in a row. So we take this, okay. What's the next move for black? Very easy to find, is a3. Now this is forcing the pawns to now again decide which pawn to take for white, and then thereafter, if this, then not this, because then white's going to win game, is here c3, and the king is outside of the square to catch the pawn, and this is the queen. And even if white tried to march their pawn, it's not very good. And you may like to look at this one, which is similar in theme to where black's got 4 pawns, and now it's black to move. What does black play? And I think it's this move, I think. And then this, and is it this move? Yes, I think it's that move. d3, and still white's king is not able to assist the driving pawns coming at it. Now d3, and if we play pawn takes pawn, then we play b3 for black. If we play pawn takes pawn, then we've obviously got d, c2, and queen move after. So that's quite nice too. Now I'm not sure if a3 works. I'm not sure if it does. I don't think it does. We could play this, but then white's going to be in time to no, white's not. Yeah, white's going to be in. No, white's not going to be in time. White cannot get there, David. So that's another variation. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure about a3, but I'll try it again. a3. Now, what can we do here? We can just can't we just take this, and then we've got c3. No, we haven't. We haven't got c3. We've got d3. And now if cd3, we've got b3. See how persistent the pawns can be, especially in that position. And this is I'm trying to show a picture from the chessboard in Cathedral Square. It should be up on the screen. And so that's a picture of the chessboard in the square. And so that's the end of my session for the 26th of July 2018. Thank you very much for visiting it on my Muppet Show.